We've got not one, but two big stories that could have people looking at this team in a totally different way. One has everyone wondering what's really happening behind the scenes with one of the biggest names on this roster, while the other could have serious implications for the future of one of the most talked about positions in football. There are a lot of opinions flying around right now, but separating what's real from what's just noise is becoming harder than ever. So today we're going to break down both of these stories, look at where they came from, what they actually mean, and why Browns fans should definitely be paying attention before jumping to conclusions. But before we get into it, if you're new here, I'm James, and welcome to Browns Daily News. If you enjoy honest daily Browns coverage from the perspective of a passionate fan, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and help us reach our first goal of 3,000 subscribers. This channel is still brand new, and it'd be awesome to have you here as one of the people who helped build this Browns community from the very beginning. The first story is about Denzel Ward. And honestly, this is exactly why Browns fans have to be careful about believing everything that starts spreading on social media. Over the weekend, a post on X started getting a lot of attention after claiming that longtime Browns reporter Tony Grossi was walking around the ESPN Cleveland block party telling people that the Browns were close to trading Denzel Ward. Think about that for a second. After the Browns made the shocking decision to trade Myles Garrett to the Los Angeles Rams earlier this offseason, hearing another franchise cornerstone's name come up in trade rumors was enough to make a lot of fans nervous. Ward has been one of the faces of this defense for years, so naturally people started wondering if another blockbuster move was about to happen. But then Tony Grossi stepped in himself and completely shut the rumor down. He responded with just one word: false. That's it. No vague statement. No, we'll see. No room for interpretation. Just false. That one response immediately poured cold water on the rumor that it started taking off online. Now, does that mean people will stop speculating? Probably not. The reality is that Denzel Ward has been connected to trade rumors ever since Myles Garrett left Cleveland. It makes sense why people keep bringing his name up. Ward is 29 years old. He's one of the best cornerbacks in football. He's a multiple-time Pro Bowler, and if the Browns ever decided to move him, they would likely receive significant value in return. When a team is getting younger and trying to reshape parts of its roster, fans and analysts naturally start looking at veteran stars as possible trade candidates. But right now, there is nothing indicating that a trade is close. And honestly, Ward himself has been saying all the right things. Earlier this month, during his celebrity softball game, he was asked directly about his future in Cleveland shortly after the Myles Garrett trade. He admitted that seeing Garrett leave wasn't easy. He called it a crazy trade because that's exactly how it felt. Garrett wasn't just another teammate. He and Ward had been the foundation of this Browns defense for years. Garrett arrived as the #1 overall pick in the 2017 NFL Draft. Ward followed 1 year later as the 4th overall pick in the 2018 NFL Draft. Those two helped build one of the league's most respected defenses together. So losing Garrett obviously hurt. Ward even said Garrett is a good friend and a great teammate. But what stood out even more was what he said next. I definitely still want to be here. That doesn't sound like someone trying to force his way out. He also added something Browns fans will probably appreciate. It's Ohio against the world. He said people can doubt this football team all they want, but the players inside that locker room are still focused on winning games and bringing victories back to the city of Cleveland. That's exactly the kind of mentality you want from one of your defensive leaders after such a major offseason change. Ward was also asked directly about the possibility of being traded himself. Instead of creating headlines or adding fuel to the rumors, he stayed calm. He basically said he doesn't spend much time thinking about it because that's simply the nature of the NFL. His attitude was simple. If he stays in Cleveland, then that's where he's supposed to be. If he ever gets traded somewhere else, then he'll embrace that opportunity too. It's a very professional approach, but more importantly, he never suggested that he wants out of Cleveland. And from a football standpoint, moving Denzel Ward right now would be incredibly difficult to justify. Last season, the Browns finished among the NFL's best defensive units. They allowed only 283.6 total yards per game, which ranked 4th in the league. Opposing quarterbacks averaged just 167.2 passing yards per game against Cleveland's secondary. The defense also surrendered only 22.3 points per game. Those are elite numbers. Yes, Myles Garrett was the engine that drove a lot of that success with his record-setting 23 sacks and the pressure he constantly created. But now that Garrett is gone, keeping someone like Denzel Ward becomes even more important. Without an elite pass rush forcing quick throws every snap, your secondary has to hold up even longer in coverage. Ward instantly becomes one of the biggest pillars of this defense. That's why, despite the constant rumors, it still makes much more football sense for Cleveland to keep one of the league's top cornerbacks, rather than creating another massive hole on a defense that's already adjusting to life without Myles Garrett. Now let's move on to the second story, because this one has Browns fans debating the future of the quarterback room once again. Shedeur Sanders is once again at the center of trade speculation. According to ESPN Cleveland analyst Tony Rizzo, the Browns may not be completely sold on Sanders as their long-term answer. Rizzo said there are ongoing conversations around the league about Sanders' availability, and he added that, in his opinion, the Browns don't believe Sanders is the guy. He also said he doesn't expect all four quarterbacks currently on Cleveland's roster to still be there when training camp begins on July 28th. He made it clear that nothing is imminent, but he believes calls are being made and that a move could eventually be in the best interest of both sides. Those comments quickly sparked another round of speculation. Then Joe Smith of Touchdown Wire introduced another interesting possibility by linking Sanders to the New York Jets. Smith pointed out that the Jets could become desperate for quarterback help. Right now, Geno Smith is expected to be their starter, but according to Smith's report, Geno is currently under investigation following allegations made by his former partner. Behind Geno, the Jets' quarterback depth chart includes Bailey Zappi, Brady Cook, and Cade Klubnik. Smith argued that if things go badly for the Jets at quarterback, they could potentially view Shedeur Sanders as a better long-term option. The reason this rumor even exists is because Cleveland currently has 4 quarterbacks on the roster: Deshaun Watson, Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, and Taylon Green. That's a crowded quarterback room, and naturally people are wondering whether the Browns eventually decide to move one of them. But not everyone believes Sanders would actually have much of a trade market. NFL analyst Joe DeLeon pushed back on the rumors during an appearance on 92.3 The Fan. According to DeLeon, Sanders has very little trade value right now because he hasn't proven himself at the NFL level. He questioned why another team would give up assets for a quarterback who still has so much to prove, unless that team suddenly loses its starting quarterback to a serious injury. DeLeon also mentioned another factor that often gets overlooked. He believes some teams may not want all the extra media attention that comes with having Shedeur Sanders as a backup quarterback. Still, despite questioning Sanders' trade value, DeLeon made one prediction that should definitely catch Browns fans' attention. He believes Sanders will eventually start games for Cleveland at some point during this season. That's interesting because, at least for now, the expectation is that Deshaun Watson has the inside track to open the season as the Browns' starting quarterback. But Watson's recent history has shown that nothing at that position should ever be considered guaranteed. Injuries, inconsistent play, or unexpected circumstances could change everything very quickly. And if that happens, Sanders could finally get his opportunity. Personally, I think this is where the Browns have to be extremely careful. Unless another team comes with an offer that's impossible to refuse. I don't see much benefit in moving Shedeur Sanders before we actually know what he can become. Quarterback depth matters in this league. We've seen seasons change overnight because of injuries. If Sanders develops into the player many people believed he could become, Cleveland may be very glad they stayed patient instead of rushing into a trade based purely on speculation. At the end of the day, today's 2 stories really tell us something about where this franchise is right now. The Browns are still one of the most talked about teams in the NFL, and whenever you have established stars like Denzel Ward or young quarterbacks like Shedeur Sanders, rumors are going to keep coming. But today, we also got an important reminder that not every rumor deserves to be believed. Tony Grossi completely shut down the talk about Denzel Ward, while the Sanders speculation is still exactly that: speculation. There are opinions, there are reports, and there are conversations happening, but nothing official has happened. As Browns fans, it's easy to react emotionally every time a headline pops up, especially after everything this franchise has gone through recently. But sometimes the smartest move is to let the facts develop before assuming another major shakeup is on the way. Now, I want to hear from all of you. Do you believe the Browns should keep Denzel Ward no matter what? And what would you do with Shedeur Sanders? Would you hold on to him as important quarterback depth, or would you consider trading him if the right offer came along? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because I know Browns fans are going to have strong opinions on both of these stories. And if you enjoyed today's update, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Browns Daily News. We're still a brand new channel, chasing our first goal of 3,000 subscribers. And if you enjoy honest daily Browns conversations from a fan who lives and breathes this team just like you do, we'd love to have you here as part of this community. I'll see you in the next one. Go Browns!